Welcome to 312, the HRP Podcast. It's the October episode, it's the Halloween episode, and we will be returning to a perennial and spooky favorite topic for this episode, mold, specifically black mold. We are going to be talking about identifying black mold, what to do, what not to do, what does it mean for your business, and why is there no hard standard for mold exposure. We'll talk about what HRP recommends, and then we'll kick it over to a spooktacular play hard segment with some of our favorite faces, old and new, in the Farmington office. That's all coming up on this episode. Stick with us. Let's head over and talk some mold. Okay, Rob, thanks so much for joining us on this episode of 312. So I believe this is your first time on the podcast. Can you introduce yourself to the folks out there in the audience?
Thanks for having me on, Tom. I feel like a celebrity now.
Excellent. Good.
I'm the regional manager, South Carolina, and I think we're talking about mold today.
We're talking about black mold.
Done a lot of work on mold. Mold does not like me because I've eradicated it from all corners.
Oh, we love to hear it. Well, so what's your background? Tell us a little bit more about that before we jump into the questions.
I started working on retail store requests to deal with water damage and mold complaints probably 15 years ago. And it worked right into what we do in the environmental consulting world. You got to investigate, find out why it's in the building, if it's a harmful presence, and figure out the best way to keep it from growing back and safely eliminate it.
Cool.
So over the years, I've literally worked on thousands of mold remediation projects now.
What's like the biggest one that you were ever on?
It was Miami. It was a brand new strip mall that was built, a high-end strip mall, and the construction company installed all the sheetrock in probably 200,000 square feet worth of retail spaces before there was any moisture barrier down on the ground, before there was any control on the outdoor areas. And so it was a costly mistake.
Not bad.
And the builder wanted to basically just paint over it and keep going.
The landlord special.
So, yeah, exactly. It was tough to just have to make it clear that, no, this is really bad and you got to start over. Not a fun thing to do, but in that case, it was necessary.
Yeah. Can you share how much approximately that ended up costing?
It's been a while, but it was several $100,000.
Yeah. Okay. So just more evidence that this is a problem you want to be proactive on. So I guess to start us off with, can you tell us about identifying black mold?
It's one of the biggest questions we get. And I mean, since we're talking about it, I'm just going to go ahead and say we shouldn't be saying black mold.
Okay.
We should just be talking about mold.
Gotcha.
In the 1990s, the US EPA made a mistake of identifying black mold as a toxic type of mold. And if you look through the articles, you'll see that they've retracted their statement. They said, we're wrong. We should have never used that term. But kind of like wildfire and the fact that it still persists today, it speaks to the catch that it had. Now people just talk about black mold. And there's all kinds of molds that grow that are black, but it's not more or less toxic than others. There's a specific kind of mold that usually is associated with indoor damage called Stachybotrys. And it almost all the time when it grows is black. Does not grow in the outdoor environment very regularly. So it's an indicator. So if we can just redirect the conversation, we're really talking about indoor mold growth, not necessarily black mold.
Gotcha. Indoor mold growth. So once you've identified it, what do you do?
If you go down to Home Depot and buy a mold test kit off the shelf, you know, it looks attractive. You know you've got mold in your house. You smell it. You have that feeling that the house has a mildewy odor.
Yeah.
So you go to Home Depot and you buy this test kit, and it shows all this nasty mold growing on a petri dish. And you buy it and you set it up for a day or two in your refrigerator, on top of your refrigerator, in your bathroom, in your laundry room, anywhere you put it. You're going to expose it and then seal it up and send it off to the company. They send you back a report, and it tells you all the different kinds of mold that they found in that test kit. Mm-hmm. But the thing that doesn't happen in that case is a similar test on the outside of your house. So if you expose the same kit at the same time outside, it would be a lot more mold usually on the outdoor kit than the one you expose on the inside. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we start with a visual inspection, and we use laboratory microbiology samples to back up our findings, but basically a visual inspection of moisture, water damage, visible mold growth, or VMG as we abbreviate it. Mm-hmm. And you go step by step to determine if there's visible mold growth, if there's water damage. And if there is, or there's some other type of concern, we'll collect samples with an air pump. Basically pump a known volume of air through a small cassette that has a sticky piece of tape mounted inside. And after the sample's done, you seal that cassette back up, send it off to a qualified microbiology lab. And an analyst cuts it open, puts that sticky tape on a slide, and they're specially trained. They can tell what types of mold are in the air. These are just the spores that mold growth, poofs out as it's growing. So the spores show up on that piece of tape, and the analyst gives us roughly a count of mold spores per cubic meter of air. And then we relate that back to the site inspection by determining what does the indoor concentration of this particular mold type look like compared to the outdoor. So once you get to that step, you can quickly determine if there's a correlation between what you saw in the visual inspection and the air samples, or if you collect a surface sample. Say there's a nasty looking accumulation on your wall, your ceiling. You can take a similar type of sample, but it's a sticky slide that you just press onto the surface, or you wipe it up with a swab, put it in a tube, and the microscope tech will identify the types of mold on that surface sample and also give you a report to tell you what's in that accumulation. A lot of times it's just dust or skin cells, other particulates that are natural in the indoor environment. But the ultimate outcome is to correlate what's in the lab samples with what you see in a visual inspection. And if you see mold growing, most of the time you'll have high levels in the air, high levels on that surface sample, and it's more or less a confirmation of what you see. The more complicated survey, Tom, is when you don't see mold, but there's measurements in the air. And so then it becomes kind of a hunt for where is the mold growing. Could be in the wall cavity, could be in the attic, could be in some concealed space.
Gotcha.
The report, if it's written well, gives the customer or the homeowner or the shop owner an assessment of what the mold growth is, what it consists of. But it doesn't just stop there. It also gives them a theory of why the mold is growing. Sometimes it's because there's a roof leak. Sometimes it's because there's ground moisture entering into a basement. Sometimes it's just because you didn't run the air conditioner and your space is so humid that the mold is basically growing on the humidity that's now saturated the building materials. So to finish out the mold report, you identify the mold, the source, why is there water in this building, and then you present a remedial plan. So if you want to get rid of it, here's our recommendation. Here's the steps you should take. Here's the precautions that you should abide by, and an offer basically to help get that done and ensure that it's completed properly. And at the end, do another test to document that it's gone and handled properly.
So that covers what to do once you've identified the mold, but what should you not do once you've identified mold?
You shouldn't ignore it. You shouldn't just clean up the mold without addressing the problem. So let's say you have mold growing in your bathroom. We'll just take it to an everyday level because we all deal with this, right?
Yeah.
We've all seen the mold growing on the caulking in our bathtub. We've all seen it on the ceiling in our bathroom. If you just clean it, you can get rid of it. It's going to grow back. In your bathroom, you should install a vent fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ventilate that space. Make sure that the humidity gets eradicated. So back to your question, what should you not do? You really shouldn't ignore the source of the mold growth, which almost always relates to water in one form or another.
So, Rob, why can't we just like scrub it off, paint over it? Like, why does it need to be addressed professionally?
If you're talking about mold growth in your bathroom, there's no reason why you would need to hire a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we deal with mold all the time. It's basically mankind's greatest competition for food is mold.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in this race for the rest of our life against mold and fungus. In your house, if it's small, there's no reason why you shouldn't take care of it on your own. In a business setting, provided that it's more than a few square feet, it's pretty easy to cause a big problem by cutting out mold damage without proper precautions like containment or without having a plan to decontaminate the area. So people are affected by mold in different ways, either through the spores that get released. If you've ever stepped on a puffball mold in the woods, you know that nasty feeling of seeing that huge cloud of spores go out. That's kind of the extreme example. But any mold that's disturbed does the same thing to one degree or another. Its biology is to grow by releasing spores. So if you're kind of reckless in trying to address it, those spores go from one area of your house to the entire area of your house or business just by airborne travel. So it makes sense if you stop and think about it. You need to contain the area. You need to protect yourself from breathing that. Mm-hmm. The other way that mold affects people, especially with allergic conditions, is by releasing gases, mycotoxins. And the gases permeate the area and definitely will result in some bad reactions with people who are susceptible to exposure. As a business owner, you've got some responsibilities to your employees and to your customers to maintain a safe work environment. Proper remediation is where HRP and our specialty contractors look out for a business owner and their employees by ensuring that there's a proper protocol performed to remove mold. So it's always a good idea in a business, in a large area of mold, to consult a professional to get the mitigation, as it's sometimes called, done properly.
So, Rob, we talked about what mold means for your business. What does HRP recommend?
If you're a business operator and you have a concern about mold or you have an employee complaint about mold, the Yellow Pages or the internet's full of different people that will do testing for mold or remediate mold.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens in a lot of cases, people shop for the lowest cost mold tester. And it's easy enough to get an inspector, and there's no license for it in most places. It's easy enough to get an inspector to just come by, take some samples, send them to a lab, give you a report for a couple $100, and they basically disappear at that point. If you are a business operator and you have a mold problem, it pays to hire a company that's proficient in the steps that we talked about before, identifying not just the mold, but the source of the mold, and being competent to guide a business owner through the steps of remediation and assurance that it's been dealt with properly. Otherwise, you enter into a cycle where you've spent several thousands of dollars to clean up a problem and have it just come back again. It could go back to, so you mentioned that there's people who do mold samples, but they don't have a license. Talk about that.
Yeah. So, Rob, you mentioned that there's people who do mold samples, but they don't have a license. And in our business, that's kind of something we're used to, is seeing if you're going to do this work or various work in this field, there's all kinds of licensure for. Why is it that there isn't one for mold?
That's a good question. If you live in New York, Florida, Texas, there are mold licenses required to assess mold and also to remediate mold. But in the rest of the country, including federal regulations, there's guidelines, but no licenses. And there's several reasons. Local legislature, pressure from real estate groups, but it is difficult to arrive at standards for mold exposure since it's a natural condition. So one way to address that in a state that doesn't have a licensed standard is to ensure that a business is hiring a competent consultant who can explain the mold, but also lead you to the correct type of remedial strategy. Mm-hmm. There's industry certifications. They're outside of government control. So there are different ways that you can vet or ask for qualifications from your consultant.
And in HRP's case, what are some of those qualifications that we would want people to know about?
We've got a staff that includes certified industrial hygienists. We have qualified environmental inspectors. And ultimately, it comes down to people who have studied the mold issue enough to provide a professional guidance. And that comes just by, there's probably 5 or 10, could be more, different private organizations where an inspector pays $100, takes a test, and puts initials after their title.
Yep.
Doesn't mean a whole lot. So there are there's some professional organizations, the American Industrial Hygiene Association, for instance, AIHA, provides a list of people who have demonstrated that they have the experience and education to provide mold-related services. Mm-hmm. So there are different organizations that carry weight when it comes to qualifying individuals. Tom, you mentioned earlier what not to do and what to do. I just want to clarify. If you go to the step of hiring a consultant that helps you address a mold problem in your business, the consultant usually has a recommendation on a professional service company that can provide the remedial service. And these are the guys that actually bring the equipment in to follow the protocol for cleaning up the mold. And they're going to isolate the areas with temporary containment walls. They're going to provide air purifiers, control the air. And this is a remedial company or remediation company. So a consultant should be able to work hand in hand with a referral to a qualified remedial company. But usually there's a separation where the consultant isn't doing the remediation themselves. They're working with a third party to perform the work. And that provides the customer with the assurance that there's oversight and not cutting corners on the remedial project.
Yeah. So Rob, final thoughts here. What is your selling point for HRP as the consultant you want to hire for your mold issue?
I mean, I want to be able to offer our customers solutions that don't cost more than they should and provide confidence that the workers in a business are going to be protected by the findings that we come up with. We're not going to make a big deal out of minor projects. We're not going to overlook minor projects that should be addressed. It's always a good outcome when you're doing this type of work to realize that there's somebody working in an isolated back corner of a building who, before we're involved, had to deal with some unhealthy conditions, or maybe an apartment that had unaddressed conditions. So it's gratifying to be able to restore those areas to a good environment for the people who are working there or living there. We find that important. And if a practitioner is just taking samples, not really paying attention to the project as a overall product, the details can get in the way, the cost can get out of hand, and the work might not be done properly. So we take pride in providing quality assessment and recommendations and following it through to solving the problem.
Rob, thanks so much for joining us on this episode.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Have a good one.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 312 Podcast. We are here right now for the Play Hard section. I am Brooke, Casella, the content creator. Joining me, my favorite 3 little gnomes.
Hello, Carly. Nice to see you again.
Joy.
I'm Maddie. Never been here before. I just spawned here, actually. My first day on
A new
Earth.
gnome just dropped. Yeah, it's actually Maddie's first day.
It's my first day.
He's These are my limited edition Labubu's. Okay.
All right.
So what do you guys do here?
I'm on the geology team.
You like rocks?
Yeah. Actually, no. Actually, I'm not a geologist. I can't lie anymore, guys. I can't lie. I don't know anything about rocks. I just like the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie, I'm a gnome. No, I'm kidding. I am an associate consultant, and again, I don't know much about rocks. I was actually a biotechnology major, just graduated. Go Rams. But yeah, but I did a lot of background stuff in environmental science. Started a month ago. I'm super excited.
I'm Joy. I've been here once before. I am in the geo department with a environmental science background.
So since we are all sitting here in our traditional garb, wanted to ask you guys if you had a favorite Halloween costume, past, present, or future. Favorite?
I totally remember my favorite costume.
Yeah.
At the time, I thought it was like super nerdy and awful and like just like a dweeb, but I was the little boy from E.T. and I made a bike that attached to like my body, and I had a pillow with like E.T. on it. It has a little blanket on. And yeah, I was like probably 10 years old, and like I was probably made fun of it for a little bit. But I thought it was so cool, and I was so proud of it. I made it myself. I had like the red hoodie on, and I'm from Florida, so I was really hot walking around. I was in jeans and a hoodie, and I had this like contraption on me. But yeah, I was E.T. and the little boy, I forgot his name, but you know, that was my favorite Halloween costume, and 12 years ago, probably by now.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's creative. I think my favorite Halloween costume that I've ever done was, well, I've done some funny ones, but I think my favorite was a raccoon. I was just a raccoon. It was a cold winter here. I needed to bundle up, and it was kind of just, you know, it was different. Everybody else in my grade who I was trick-or-treating with was like a hippie or a princess or some sort of like fairy, and I definitely stuck out in the crowd.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, stick out.
Do you have a favorite Halloween costume, Carly?
I think back to in college, I was Mike Wazowski.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. It's a good. I always do like group costumes. Like I did
Yeah.
Mike Wazowski, and then we had like a Boo and a Sully, like the little
Classic.
one, and then
Yeah.
we also did like a Bob's Burgers thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah,
I like that.
and I was Louise.
Oh,
She's the one that wears the pink hat.
Yeah.
yes. I'm
Yes.
familiar.
Yep. Yeah, those are some highlights. I feel like when I was a kid, I always just I either re-wore the same costumes over and over again, or like when I got older, like me and my friends would just dress up as like a slumber party group, and we would just wear pajamas
Yeah.
and use pillowcases as our like trick or treat bag. That was our like low effort Halloween costume.
Yeah. There was one time me and my friends dressed as dads, and we like stole their button-down shirts and their khaki pants and their ties.
Fun. I had a dad party once. I'm remembering. I had like I think it was like my 21st birthday party, and the theme was like dads, and everyone wore like socks and sandals and like backwards caps, and we all sat in like Adirondack chairs. That was it.
Classic dad move.
Yeah.
Everyone's going around asking, "Do you need an oil change? Have you got oil?" Like,
Just
check your
banging on
tires
random
recently.
pieces of furniture, checking out the structural integrity of this grill.
yeah, right.
Do you have a favorite costume, Joy?
Mine was at least within the past decade. I don't know how long ago, but I still have it. And I want to break it out at any moment. I did Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Abominable Snowman.
Oh,
So I took like a white dog costume, and I like deconstructed it to make like Bumble. I had like a whole bunch of felt to do the mask. I used mesh for the eyes so I could put the mask on and like look through his eyes. It's by far my favorite.
I feel like that takes talent.
Yeah.
To like.
No, it's very.
But
No,
no,
it
Joy's really talented.
it just
you're
took
very
a
good
lot.
at making costumes.
It took
It's
a lot of
talent
hot
for sure.
glue
Yeah,
because I don't know how to sew.
A lot of glue.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know if I can hand make a costume.
That's my favorite thing about costumes. I love making them. I don't
Yeah.
want to just go buy a costume.
Yeah. I'm good at throwing together stuff I have in my closet and like reusing clothes, but I don't know if I could glue. I don't think I can glue.
the most like creative I ever got with Halloween costumes was like for the Mike Wazowski, and then I also did like Mrs. Potato Head. I would just go buy felt from the craft store and cut out shapes and like glue it on a t-shirt. Like that was
Yeah.
the extent of my costume making skills, was just like putting all the pieces together and then wearing a big t-shirt. And it was also the best way to be comfortable.
Cut and paste.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not very high tech. It wasn't like 3D or anything. It was very much two-dimensional on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You mentioned that when you were little, you wore a lot of costumes. I rewore my costume and repeated my costume for probably a decade. When I was little, I thought that the costume you picked for Halloween was your costume. Like it's essentially your alter ego. It doesn't change. So even I would rewear my costumes year after year. And then even as I grew out of them, the next one would just be the same thing. And I was always a witch. I was a witch every year for Halloween for God knows how long because I thought that's what I had to be once I picked it.
Did you see other kids like be different things year to year?
I was not paying attention to other kids. I was there for the
You're
candy.
like, it's witch time.
She had goals.
Yeah.
She had a checklist.
I remember like I would try to like talk back to people who tried to scare me too because I was scary. In my mind, I was a scary witch.
Yeah.
So people trying to scare me, I was like, shut up. No, I'm not scared. Like
Good thing costumes aren't alter egos because I don't think I want my alter ego to be a raccoon.
Yeah. One time I was, last year, me and my friends, we all dressed up as Ed Sheeran. All of us, we were the different quote unquote albums, but we all just had the red wig and we wore different colored t-shirts with like the equal plus sign. If you're familiar with Ed Sheeran, his discography. Yeah. I was the red one. I don't know. I had red hair, but it was awesome. Someone had like vector glasses from like a previous Halloween costume. So like I wore those glasses and no one recognized me when like I went out and everyone was like, hi, like, how are you? To my friends that I like didn't do this costume with. And they were like, who are you? And I'm like, it's Maddie. They were like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just wearing a wig. It was like the most freeing kind of like identity like thing ever. It was awesome. I love wearing wigs. I've said this before. And I think that it's so fun just like pretend to be someone else in a more like interesting, I don't know, just like hair is such a like I don't know how to explain it. Hair.
Yeah. It's very transformative.
It's transformative, exactly.
You put on a wig and you're a new person.
Exactly.
I think whatever costumes we do next year, like we need to have wigs.
Yeah.
Instead of beards.
I know, it's a little
There were several times last year, or not last year, my senior year of college, where I had the opportunity to be essentially a different person, a man, and I feel as if the second I put on like loose basketball shorts and my hair was gone, I felt what it feels like to be manly, and I fully embodied that role, and it was almost freeing.
It is freeing.
It's freeing.
Man spreading. Gotta love it.
That's why I love Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
You can be anything you want to do, you know? You can just not be yourself for a day or a night, whatever, evening. Kind of cool. You can be a witch for 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? You can be a witch.
I do have a question though, actually. Have any of you guys ever had the opportunity to like pass out candy like to children? Like in a neighborhood?
No.
actually last year was my first time.
Did you have a great time?
No, I mean, it was kind of boring, and like, I'm afraid of teenagers.
Yeah.
So like I just let everybody grab handfuls until the bowl was empty because then I could go inside.
Yeah.
So it wasn't my favorite, but I'm still gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That was one of my favorite parts as a kid is the trick or treating part. So like I want to essentially like give back.
Yeah.
I loved that when I was little.
Yeah. Me and my roommates in college, we would always, once we like lived in a house off campus, we would always buy candy with the hopes that like a child would come and knock on our door and like say trick or treat. That never happened. So we would just have like a bunch of candy that we would all just end up eating.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just so disappointing. I was like, I want to, you know,
Yeah.
have a kid go trick or treat. And then you're like,
It's
oh my
either
gosh, you guys
kiddo.
look so awesome. And then you give them candy. Like that's, you know, like that was such a magical moment as a kid. But I think that a lot of times they do like trunk or treat now. That never really was a
Yeah.
thing when we were kids.
I noticed
feel like.
last year. I mean, also the kids who come to like, the kindercare kids, they're like young.
Yeah.
Like obviously they're like preschoolers or younger, so they're really little. But I noticed that like none of them knew about trick or treat. Like they were coming through and they would just like put their hand in your candy bowl, and I'm like, trick or treat, and they're like, And I'm like, no, you gotta say it. Like I know they're little,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. I wonder if like
Like has
being
trick
lost,
has the
It's
culture,
lost art.
you know, like
trick or treating. They don't.
No
The
more
kids don't
trick-or-treating.
know.
I know.
We're gonna
I
have to
don't. I
bring it
also.
back.
Yeah. I don't know if there's more cars in the area, like more traffic. It's probably
Yeah.
dangerous.
Well,
It gets dark
yeah.
so early.
Currently, my favorite viral videos that are circulating back around, and if you haven't watched any, you have to, is like when parents take their kids trick or treating for the first time and they don't know like what to do. Like the little boy who just like walks inside the house.
I know what you're talking about. I love those videos.
There's like so many like trick or treating fails because when it's your first time and your parents are like, "Oh, go trick or treat," they're like, "Haha, let me come inside." Like my mom only brings me to people's houses that I know, so why can't I come in?
Guess we're going in.
Yeah, those are funny.
It's true. You don't like know what to do your first time. You know,
Mhm.
like no one like you weren't born with the ability to trick or treat. That's a taught ability. You know, like that's a learned.
I don't know. I feel like
Not in
Carly
your
was.
nature.
Carly was definitely born with the ability to trick
Yeah.
or treat.
I was. I just knew what to do. It's because I'm evolved.
She's
I'm ultra
the
evolved.
fittest.
Yeah. I'm a modern woman.
Yeah.
A modern gnome, if you will.
I kind of have a dream of learning magic tricks so that when I'm passing out candy, I can say, and if they pick trick, I'm going to do really bad magic tricks. But I haven't learned any magic tricks yet.
I used to know a lot of magic tricks when I worked at summer camp. Mostly card tricks, some disappearing items. I'm gonna have to re-up on those skills.
I've always wanted to know how to like pull a coin out from someone's ear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
Yes. Those are like the easiest
You're gonna do it to me
ones.
one day, and I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah.
I'm
Or I'm gonna
flip.
pull out something strange from behind your ear. It's a gecko.
I would love that. Please.
Do we have geckos in Connecticut?
True.
Yeah.
It's a little like Gordon Snake.
Yeah. I'll have to find one, bring it in. And then when you're unsuspecting, pull a prank. This is what I wear every single day.
What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Oh, okay. My favorite Halloween candies are any sort of like gummy candy.
Ooh.
Normally like a sour gummy candy, but
like a Sour Patch Kid.
correct.
Okay.
Hot take. I do not personally really truly enjoy chocolate. And I get
that is a hot take.
I get really stressed out when I walk as a child when I walked up to a house and there was only like the mini Hershey's bars and like
Yeah.
chocolate bars. I was like, let me turn around. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, but I must say, like, not liking chocolate is kind of a smart economical choice because the
cacao beans?
price of chocolate has been skyrocketing. Have you heard about this?
Is
I
it-
mean, maybe not because you're not a chocolate person.
No, I'm not up to date with
But
the chocolate
I
news.
read like way too much NPR, and like the prices of chocolate. I mean, the cacao crops haven't. You guys don't know about this?
No.
They haven't been doing well because of climate change. I mean, like, duh, of course, climate change ruins everything, including chocolate and Halloween.
Yeah.
But yeah, like chocolate companies are now. I mean, chocolate candy is just like way more expensive in the like in the first place, but then also they're like decreasing portion sizes and decreasing bag sizes and replacing ingredients with other things that like aren't chocolate but kind of taste like chocolate, but aren't chocolate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're being bamboozled by the chocolate industry nowadays. Not their fault. Climate change's fault, really. But I mean, it is a lot more economical now as a candy choice to go with more of a gummy sweet candy. So
Yeah. Is your favorite candy a chocolate candy?
really, I do like chocolate. I
If
like
you
milk
had to pick a
chocolate.
favorite, like you walk up to the candy bin.
I like Reese's and I like Snickers.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a chocolate nut combo.
Yeah.
I'm a gummy person, like Brooke. I like gummy bears, gummy worms. I don't do a lot of sour gummies, but I do like the trolley or trolley.
Mm-hmm.
I like those because they're not very sour gummies.
Yeah.
I want to burn my tongue off with how sour my candy is. Like I wanted to like.
Did you see the toxic waste ones?
Yeah.
that were in the
And do
kitchen?
you know how many
Oh.
I've had today?
Really?
Too
They
many.
have a little warning on the back that's like, do not consume too many within a short time frame or you may cause like damage to your tongue. It says something
Yes.
like, or it says like, not good for sensitive individuals.
I would
I'm sensitive
like.
individuals.
I
can't. I'm not good at sour.
I would eat so much like sour candy as a kid, specifically sour Skittles, because you could like suck on them a little bit. But if you had too many, you could like feel the roof of your mouth start to get like a little puckered. Something's wrong up there.
Yeah.
I'm losing it. It's gone.
You're like, your taste buds are like frying
Yeah.
off.
Like, Mom, dinner's so bland tonight. And she's like, whoa. Just me.
Yeah. A favorite Halloween candy?
Yeah.
Honestly, I like it all, not to be greedy. Like, I really do love gummy candy and I do love chocolate, but God, do I love an Almond Joy, not Mounds. And not Mounds. I like the nut in it. And then also like a Kit Kat. I like that snap or like a Crunch bar. I like that little like, I like that crunch,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm.
That but I do love a gummy candy, but I'm not a sour gummy candy. And when you like said sour Skittles, I immediately thought about my dad, and he would literally like eat a whole like shareable size of those, and I would have like 3, and I'm like, this is awful. Like I can't stand it.
Want to not be in pain.
Do you
I
like
like- ugh.
sweet tarts?
I like sweet tarts squashies. Have you ever had squashies?
No.
Oh my gosh. They might be my favorite candy ever to exist on the planet.
Where do they sell those? That does
Sweet
like
tart squashy.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
it like a gummy sweet tart?
It's like a gummy taffy combo texture.
Ooh.
And the flavors are, in my opinion, so good. I normally get the raspberry and cream bag, but they also have a mixed fruit bag, so you can get like a lemon lime, orange pineapple, black currant, and cherry.
Ooh. This is reminding me of like Laffy Taffy. Like, were you big into Laffy Taffy as well?
Yes.
I love Laffy Taffy. What are your thoughts on the banana flavor Laffy
That's
Taffy?
my favorite.
I love it. I love it. I
Okay,
love
I'm
banana Laffy
so glad we can all
Taffy.
agree. I love
Banana girls.
Yeah. I love banana Laffy Taffy. Like one of the best flavors.
Usually banana stuff sucks.
Yeah.
You know, like a latte with banana in it. Ew.
Have you had a matcha with banana though?
No.
It's really good.
Interesting.
You guys, okay, maybe I'm opening up a little bit because I'm feeling comfortable, but we had this thing at my house that would come the night of Halloween.
You had a thing?
It was called the Halloweenie.
Is it a guy?
As I've gotten older, I've realized I was the only child who had the Halloweenie come.
Yeah, no.
So essentially, we would come home with our loot, trick-or-treating, and we would have like a little, like, normal-sized bowl and then like a big, giant, like, sharing popcorn with the family bowl. We could fill the little-sized bowl with the candy that we wanted to keep and put the rest of it in the big bowl.
Oh, as like a sacrifice to the Halloweenie?
No, the Halloweenie would come and take it and bring it to the kids who couldn't go trick-or-treating.
Oh.
And also send it to my father, who was overseas at the time, which I didn't know. But I was so mad every year. I'd be like, dang it, I finally have all the candies that I want, and the Halloweenie's coming to take them. And I think
this dang Halloweeny.
I think
This is when you started to hate capitalism. You're like, all this work and for the man to profit?
it like wasn't until high school that I realized I was the only one who partook in this, because it was like the tooth fairy. Like the Halloween comes, you go to bed, you give him what he is allowed to take, you keep your favorites. But I think there was one time I was complaining, like freshman year, sophomore year, like you're not really trick-or-treating anymore, but you want to still like kind of with your friends. And I was like, ugh, guys, I just don't know if I want to go. Like Halloweeny takes majority of it anyways. And they're like, what possibly could you be talking about right now? Like, no, like, you know, the thing that takes the extra candy. And no, I was simply the only one who had encountered this thing.
Your parents are smart.
They are smart for that.
Your parents are smart.
Yeah, because it kept us like to limited candy.
Like, sane.
We had to do a lot of like deliberation, like what candies we want to keep. Like as siblings, should we keep like this because so and so likes it, or should we get rid of all
like,
of them?
Good decision making and like priorities.
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
working together and not being like oversaturated. It's so annoying when you're a kid and something like really irks you, and then you grow up and you're like,
Damn.
oh, it really taught me a lot. Like,
Yes, like toy recycling.
I was really better for it, huh?
Toy recycling also gave me the biggest like angry when I was a child, and you'd have to come and give away the toys because some people can't go out and buy toys, but if you give away 10 toys, you get one new one maybe. I hated that. But you know what?
It's all just like rules that your parents make up.
It is.
It matters like so much when you're a kid. Like that's your whole world, you know? Like my toys.
Yeah. My Zuzu pets?
Yes.
Stop.
Do you remember hearing about when you were a kid, like you would have your Zuzu pets, and then did your mom come in and tell you about how someone's Zuzu pet got caught in their hair and they had to like shave their head?
No, mine would like make noises from the toy bin, and I was
Like calling
not
to you.
I was okay giving that guy away because I seriously thought that they were possessed and they had something going on, because I would turn them off and then I would hear the like and I'm like, oh, mom, we can recycle earlier. Come on. Did your parents have any weird rules? Anybody?
Tons.
Like any that like stick to you as much as the Halloweeny?
See, I can't think of any right now, of course. But like for sure. I mean, like the greatest injustices of my childhood that I remember are just like my brothers terrorizing me, even though I'm the oldest.
Same. 2 little brothers.
Like having these little boys come around and like, I'd be like, Mom, like literally Phineas and Ferb, I was Candace. And like I was always trying to get them in trouble. And it was always just like, of course my parents didn't want to deal with it. Like here I am, a bratty kid coming to them wanting like justice to be served, and like they want no part of it. They're like, oh my God, figure this out yourselves. And so I always felt like I was being punished for trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
When really I was just like a bratty snitch.
Yeah.
I was like trying to get them in trouble, you know? The clarity you get when you grow up is
It truly is a lot.
incredible.
Yeah. I do, also having 2 younger brothers and being the oldest, there's a lot of memories I have of one of us getting hurt, and here I am delegating to the room, trying to calm everybody down. Hey, we will figure this out, but if one of you guys goes and tells mom, we're all done for. Okay? Circle up. Let's figure this out.
Figure this out.
Because nobody is going into the other room. We're not going to have ice cream for dinner. We're going to lose our toys. TV time. Done.
Ooh, that reminded me of another one. I remember as a kid, it was April Fool's Day, and my mom told us that we were having cupcakes for dinner. And we were so excited. And she just like, she wouldn't stop talking about it like all morning. And we got home from school and she's like, are you guys so excited for cupcakes for dinner? And we're like, yeah. Cupcakes for dinner was meatloaf baked in a muffin tin with mashed potato frosting and the multicolored vegetables as sprinkles. And she
That's
served
amazing.
that on the dinner table, and she was so excited and thought it was the funniest thing. And notoriously, meatloaf was like one of my least favorite dinners as a child, and I think I like literally threw a fit, like made like the biggest deal out of it. So
Yeah. My mom did the toothpaste and the Oreos prank on us.
oh
No.
that's brutal.
After school snack, and you could just hear her from the other room like laughing because one of us took a bite and we were like, "Oh, yuck, what is this?" Genius, honestly, though.
I think I was the prankster in my family.
Were
I
you?
was the youngest. I always just like wanted to be around my siblings. I don't know why I chose like messing with them to do that, but yeah, I would do like some of the classics, like put the little rubber band on the sprayer at the sink because it was my sister's, like it was her day to do the dishes. I would do that. There was one time I had made myself like a glass of chocolate milk. Easy to do when you're a kid. And my sister was just being bossy. I think she had friends over. She was like showing off, and she was like, "You go make me a chocolate milk." I put molasses in it instead. And you stir it up, it looks the same.
That's good.
But I think I was a very annoying little sister, so I kind of understand where you guys are coming from. I'm so sorry about your siblings.
But now I know who to call when April Fool's Day comes around and
Yeah,
I need to
right.
pull a prank on the office. Thank you guys for being here today, joining us for our Halloween episode. Everybody watching or listening, make sure to like, subscribe, give us 5 stars. And even though Halloween's coming up and candy's tempting, don't forget to eat a vegetable. Thank you.